Welcome to AutoCAD Architecture. And in this session we're going to have a look at concept mass modelling using AutoCAD Architecture, AC Mass Elements and AutoCAD Solids. Now you can see I've configured my workspace to show me the ribbon, and I've set up the 3D home view of that, and I've also created my own tool palette with the massing tools that I generally use when I'm doing conceptual design. Now to start off with, I'm just going to use my wheel and shift key and throw up a 3D orbit. We'll have a quick look at typical mass element type object. So if you've got existing residential type properties, tools such as a gable allows you to quickly add a 3D shape which allows you to create a form that can be used for existing housing. You can click on this, you can change particular parameters, so I can give it a set length, distance, etc. And these properties can also be edited via the property dialog box. Alternatively, where I've got line work, I can use AutoCAD push-pull facilities where I'm just using the Control and the Alt key, select inside the line work, and then I can type in the height I want for that particular shape. So I'm just using Control Alt, click inside the line work and just drag up and click on an endpoint to get the height of that shape. So from here we'll have a 5 meter high box, and similar for the shapes next door. So you can see how quickly it is you can convert 2D line work into 3D solids. And I'll have a quick zoom in on this object here. I'm going to select my line command, and as I hover over a 3D object you can see the dynamic UCS kicks in and I can find the particular face of that object. Now I'm going to use midpoint and I'm going to snap to the various midpoints, so using the shift key and the right button on the mouse to bring up my object snaps, and then again I can use my push pull to pull away the faces of the 3D objects I don't want. So there you can see I've now created those 3D faces. Similarly, I can use the circle command, get my face, use a bit of object tracking, so we'll track from the various endpoints and then find the center of that shape, and we'll have a 500 radius. Then I can use a push pull, pull that out 300. So you can see how quick it is to create any solid shapes that I require. Another method of creating 3D solids is by using the extrude command, again where I can select enclosed shapes such as these polylines and click and just drag up to give it appropriate height. Alternatively, I can just add in one of the predefined solids such as the cylinder object, so I'm going to click on points there and we'll just throw that up to a height here. Another method of creating solids is loft, so I can click on the various plans. Here I've got top and bottom, it could be sections, you can have a whole number or series of these as required, and having selected those you have the options to use either paths or guides. So I've set some guides which are these two arcs, and I'll click on those and that's created my 3D form. I can also carry out some basic editing commands, so I'm going to use my fillet option, click on my solid object, give it a radius of 5 meters, and then click the two edges I want to fillet. You can see fillet not only works on lines and polylines, but will also work on solids, and it will chamfer off, will fillet the appropriate corners for me. Now all that's left to do is to do a subtract, so I'm going to select my solid form, and then I'm going to select the objects that I wish to subtract. And you can see that has now pulled away the previous objects from my model. Now I didn't actually want the cylinder to come all the way through, so I can click back on to my solid, go to my properties and turn on the solid history. Now if I use my control key, I can get hold of my cylinder and click back in, and I can predefine the height of that. So I'll say that's 3,500, and just while waiting for that to do, I'll also change the radius. Click in there. Okay, and then we can click back onto my solid, and I'll go back into the properties and I'll turn the history off, and we'll turn on conceptual visual style. So just drag and drop that into here, and then we can have a look at the shape that we created. Just while we're in the conceptual view, I'll click on to my solid shape, and I'll just right click and go to convert, and I'll convert that to be a mass element. In this situation I'll erase the geometry, just leaving the mass form, and we'll go back into a wireframe view. Okay, having created our mass, we're now going to look at how we can schedule that information off. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my AC slicing tool, and I'm going to add 25 slices and choose the area that I wish to slice to and from, and the rotation. I'm going to start at a height of 0 and define floor to ceiling height 3 meters between each. And then I'm going to select my series of spaces, right click, click the attach object, and then click on my mass element. I can now add in a schedule table, select my slices and drop that into drawing. You'll notice at the moment that because there's no property sets applied, that I just get question marks, so I just click onto my schedule and then add all the property sets, and all the elevation information and the floor area has automatically been added to my schedule. Now I was hoping to get an area of about 5,000 square meters, so from here I could just click in, select my mass, go to my properties, make sure on my mass, and we'll change the height of that to be, say, 52 meters height, and we'll increase the width to be about 25 meters. And then we'll update my schedule table, and you can see I've increased the floor area appropriately. So hopefully from this exercise you can see how easy it is not only to create solids within AutoCAD architecture and convert those into mass elements, but to also to create particular floor plates and schedule off the floor areas of those objects. Thank you.